So, you want to learn how to make these cross members for your box truck. Let's get into it. First things first, you'll see that I cut down through the top flange of this I-beam, but I haven't cut it all the way through. And the reason we want to do that is so that we can cut out this top portion and use this bottom piece when we bend it over to create the flange on the end. You'll want to make sure you remove all the material off the bottom and make a nice flush surface so that when they're bent together, they meet up clean. So right here, you'll notice I'm heating it up, getting ready to bend it, but I didn't quite get it hot enough, so it bent a little farther out from where it was supposed to and wasn't completely square up to the face. I fixed that by hammering on the back side of the flange. This process of bending took a lot longer than expected, and honestly, I would recommend cutting consistently all the way through your I-beams and then finding a piece of flat bar that is the same width and welding the caps onto the end of it. But since we were this far along with the project, I decided to continue doing it this way, and I ended up building all of my pieces like this. Now that we've got our end all squared up, we can tack it in place while pinching it together to make a nice tight seam. I then continue to weld all the way around the I-beam where we have bent the flange up and it meets the face. It should look something like this, minus the holes, unless you decided to do pre-drilled flat bar. You'll then want to measure across from one side to the other and repeat the same process on the other side. Now that you've got your piece sized, you'll want to worry about drilling pilot holes in the end. The easiest way I found to do this was to cut off an end of a cross member that we are replacing and run a magnet across the top of it so I could mark the inside and then drill a pilot hole, followed by another drill bit that is just a little bigger than the fastener you were using. Now that we're finished with drilling our holes, I'll shoot a quick coat of primer over everything just to make sure that it doesn't get any more rusty than it needs to. It took me a good portion of an afternoon to finish drilling out the remaining pieces, but now I have them all set and waiting to be installed into my box truck. Stay tuned because I have a full video coming.